Seeds are the key to growing food that feeds the world. At times, those seeds are not sown in ideal conditions, but in dry soils or areas that are torn by war and famine. Preserving crop diversity for future generations takes a kind of vision and perseverance that these two researchers and advocates have gladly shouldered. Dr. Geoffrey Houghton grew up in North London, spending summers on local farms. His PhD in plant genetics led to work with a food legume program that collects and preserves varieties of chickpeas, faba beans, lentils, and more from Afghanistan, Ethiopia, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and Turkey. In 1975, as a civil war broke out in Lebanon, Houghton and his team saved this irreplaceable resource, making multiple trips down potholed, landmine roads to move the entire collection safely into Syria. In the 1990s, Houghton transformed a modest program focused on gene banks into an independent, multi-dimensional CGIAR center, creating the International Plant Genetic Resources Institute, later renamed Bioversity International. The group's institutional strategy is to conserve agricultural biodiversity and use it to improve food security and sustainability. Dr. Cary Fowler, born in Tennessee, also spent much of his youth working on farms. His research into social justice issues and agriculture around the loss of crop diversity led him to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization in the 1990s. He eventually became the head of the FAO's Program for Plant Genetic Resources and prepared the UN's first assessment of the world's plant genetic resources, which led to pivotal negotiations resulting in the adoption of a global plan of action for conserving agricultural biodiversity. This achievement laid the groundwork for a worldwide gene bank management plan on which he would collaborate with Houghton. During the 1990s and 2000s, Fowler led efforts to revolutionize global seed conservation and the creation of a crop trust. With a plan in hand, he approached the Norwegian government with an idea to create an international seed vault near the North Pole.
We created a facility that operates like a safety deposit box, where Norway owns the mountain, owns the facility, but the depositor owns whatever they deposit, and only they have access to that. And by the way, it's free. So I tried to explain to countries, it's a free insurance policy. You know, why not take advantage of it? It's still not been easy to convince every country to use it, but we're getting.
Fowler led the negotiations for opening the vault and secured support from national and international gene banks, serving 9 years as the chair of the International Advisory Council for what became the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. Meanwhile, Houghton developed technical management and policy specifications for the vault.
We are very concerned about food security, nutrition security, and the connection between that and national security. Not just U.S. national security, but everybody's national security. We're concerned about trying to help countries develop more sustainable, productive agricultural systems that feed everyone all year round.
The vault would open in 2008 and began accepting seeds from other gene banks under the auspices of the International Plant Treaty that had been negotiated by the United Nations. Today, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault safeguards 1.25 million seed samples, representing over 6,000 species from nearly every country on Earth. It is the largest and most diverse collection of crop biodiversity in existence.
What happens that I find interesting is what happens when people leave.
At the Borlaug Dialogues in late October, the pair were featured in panels and press events before being honored at the annual World Food Prize Awards ceremony.
It's not just a recognition of the work we've done so much as the recognition of this whole issue of the importance of genetic diversity and what it means and how it underpins our ability to feed the world in the future with nutritious food. So it's a topic which is not widely understood. Not many people, if you mention sort of crop diversity, will have a clue what you were talking about until you say, well, if you go to your local supermarket, you've got lots of different apples varieties there. And then you say, well, there's actually 150,000 different samples of rice in a gene bank in the Philippines. This is the diversity we're talking about.